with a WWE Hall of Famer hinting at a Royal Rumble return and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for January 26th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. When making his return to WWE for the 2020 Royal Rumble, Edge went into the ring and speared AJ Styles, which led to an injury for the Phenomenal One. On WWE's The Bump, AJ mentioned that encounter with the Rated R Superstar, then hinted at a match between them. Absolutely. I think the last time Edge and I were in the ring together, he separated my shoulder with a spear, which was, the way it should have been. We need to get back in the ring with a one-on-one match and get this thing over with. I want this match. He wants this match. When is it going to happen? We're getting close. With Inside the Ropes, Britt Baker touched on Adam Cole leaving WWE, saying she believed he always wanted to go to AEW. He knew what AEW was about because when we lived together and he hears me talk about it all the time, he knew how much fun it was. I think deep down, he always wanted to come to AEW. He just needed to get his ducks in a row and make a decision. And I can tell you now, I definitely don't think he regrets it. This week, Cole will be facing Orange Cassidy in a lights out match on Dynamite. Speaking of going from WWE to AEW, Kyle O'Reilly recently did the same as he gave his reasons for doing so on Talk is Jericho, saying seeing Bobby and Adam come to AEW, how could you not want to be back with these guys and a part of a group like AEW where every week it's a takeover crowd, just on TV. We talk about the natural progression and next steps of one's career, and it felt like, for me, it was the next logical step for me. NXT 2.0 rebrand happened, and it felt like before the rebrand, Kyle O'Reilly was the top guy in NXT, and after the rebrand plans shifted. That's fine, it's business. I'm totally willing to do what I can do, get anyone else, get over, and for the last few months there, I tried my damnedest to do so with everyone I worked with. I just wanted to be excited about going to work again, and I felt like I left a ton on the table with New Japan and then here. I know there is a good relationship with New Japan. It seemed like a new frontier. There are so many talented guys, so many exciting matchups, so many exciting tag matches because the tag division is stacked, and I love tag team wrestling, and my tag team partner, the company released, and now he's in AEW. My deal was done. It was coming up in December, and I ended up doing a week extension just to finish up and do good business by them, and finish with War Games and TV to put Von Wagner over and do business right. I'm happy to do so. The opportunity came to come here, sorting a deal out with Tony Khan a day or two before my debut, and here we are. While they've been seen as a strong faction in AEW, Santana and Ortiz spoke to Stephanie Chase about discussions of the Inner Circle breaking up. We had done so much and we had proven to be very successful at being the group. I just felt like it was time for all of us, to go our separate ways and start establishing our own selves and whatever we'll continue doing and stuff like that. And then maybe eventually down the line we could bring it back together for a major moment and rock and roll again. I always feel like the group is cool. We've proven that the group can be successful, but now let's prove that each of us can be successful on our own. Almost like the Wu-Tang Clan, they were such a great band together, so successful together. When they broke up and went their own separate ways, they all became successful. So I think that was more my mentality. With Mustafa Ali recently letting the public know that he has requested his release from WWE, it has been reported that Vince McMahon and company are not willing to do so at this time. Prior to this, there was an argument that took place between McMahon and Ali regarding the direction of his character. Now on his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T mentioned how he feels Ali not being let go is a plus for him. Maybe that's a good thing for Mustafa. I know sometimes you speak up and you're ticked off about something and you'll say anything, you know what I mean? Maybe time to cool down a little bit, maybe time to think about it a little bit. Maybe even have a real conversation, because sometimes I know you can get some respect when you speak your mind. Wardlow would make headlines not long ago when news broke that WWE would be interested in signing the star. With Chris Van Vliet, Wardlow was asked about these rumors of WWE wanting to sign him. As the AEW star noted, "Like I said, I always genuinely felt that I was going to walk in WWE's front doors and they were going to go, 'What took you so long? Get over here.' I have no desire to sound cocky, but I was confident years ago, and it didn't happen. But I still feel like a certain individual in that company would look at me and go, 'You're my guy.' So I wouldn't say I'm surprised. I feel like I'm right up their alley of what their cookie cutter wrestler would be, but hey, they had their shot." Talking about a potential feud with his stablemate, Wardlow said he wouldn't rule out a match against MJF. "He loves adjusting my contract. He seems to make changes to it weekly, which is starting to get under my skin a little bit, but we've been together for 2 years. He pays me to watch his back. So that's technically my job. So I will continue to do so as long as I'm under contract to do so, because that's my job. I do my job, and I will do it well. But who knows what happens? I know that contract isn't forever, so who knows what will happen down the road." On a recent Twitch stream, former WWE star Johnny Gargano revealed he would love to have a rematch against AEW star Bryan Danielson. The guy, from my personal opinion, just because I have been in the ring with him, so I kind of know from experience. I don't know how to explain it or say why he's the best wrestler in the world. You just got to be in there with him and you just know. Bryan is the best, and it's a shame that we never got a chance to have entangled in the last couple of years, but hopefully at some point down the line that can happen. With it previously reported that Gargano could make his AEW debut tonight in Cleveland, it'll be interesting to see if he turns up. Randy Orton and Matt Riddle as RK Bro are one of the most beloved tag teams in WWE today. They have amazing chemistry in and out of the ring, as Orton told the Ringer Wrestling podcast that him being happy is all thanks to Riddle. One of the main reasons me and Riddle come across as happy in the ring together is he's the one guy that can grow my favorite strain. I'm not lying. Seriously, I'm having fun out there. Monday, they had me put on a graduation cap and gown. Whenever they are tasking me, some with kind of ridiculous stuff, you wouldn't think you would see Randy Orton in a cap and gown. I laughed because I was excited, because I knew the fans were going to be like, "What the hell is he doing?" After the career that I've had and all the somewhat monotonous intensity, I did that for so long. If I crack a smile and break the fourth wall or whatever, if you can tell I'm having fun at this point in my career, I feel like it draws you in more, because I was so against letting people in before. It was just character. I have to be mean and angry and intense, and they have to believe I want to rip this guy's head off. Now, I can still do that, but I've been around long enough to where I get let off easy when I break character. But when I do things that maybe a babyface wouldn't do, there might be a sign in Gorilla that says no eye pokes. And even though in parentheses it doesn't say except Randy Orton, I know it's still there. I can get away with this. But compared to the stuff I used to do and get away with, if I get away with an eye poke, it's okay. I'm having fun and staying true to who I am as a heel, which is what brought me to the dance, but I'm able to have more leniency with how I do that. During that same interview, Randy Orton talked about his growth in WWE, saying in his early days, Shawn Michaels was difficult to be around. I was lucky to have some great people in the locker room. I would see how they went about life and how they were with their kids. I got to see Shawn Michaels, who, on all accounts, was a complete asshole. And when I met him, I even thought he was a pussy. However, I saw the change and I heard the stories, and I feel like it really is a funny thing. The same thing kind of happened to me. Kind of. It's a part of the journey. I think my legacy is the longevity. Given the many announcements for returns to the Royal Rumble, fans are curious if they'll see Trish Stratus make an appearance at the event. Referencing her role as a judge on Canada's Got Talent, Trish said on the Bellas podcast that I am filming these semifinals. They do wrap up at a certain time. I'll be in that headspace, so that's sort of my focus at the moment. That's what I have to do. You know how intense it is. I have to be in it. With lockdown restrictions being lifted on Thursday, Stratus should be able to make an appearance at the Rumble, which takes place on Saturday. With WWE overhauling NXT to focus on bigger stars with an athletic background, Chris Jericho noted on Wrestling with Freddie that the company has issues when it comes to building new stars. This is not a WWE bash. I worked there for almost 20 years, and I loved working for WWE. But one thing they still have an issue with, and you can see it if you watch the show, is building new stars. They really have a problem with that, and I don't know why. Once again, it doesn't matter what they do. From day one in AEW, when we showed up on October 2nd, even before that, when we showed up for the first couple pay-per-views, we had no television deal. Then we finally got one on TNT. It was an ad revenue share. What that means for people that don't know is you make the money based on the advertising. If you have 50 advertisers, you get a share. If you have one advertiser, you get a share. It was not a big monster deal. I realized early on, kind of being the face of the company and the one guy the national audience knew besides Jim Ross, or the one guy that's in the ring, and they knew Cody maybe, but not really. Kenny and the Bucks were more independent or popular in other countries. I needed to make new stars as quickly as I could, Cody being one of them, Kenny Omega being another one. When it comes to possible returns at the Royal Rumble, Fightful has reported that Kairi Sane has been brought up by those in WWE despite her contract running out next month. Kairi Sane hasn't competed for WWE in a year and a half, but we've heard that her name has been pitched as a possible Royal Rumble entry for this weekend. Sane left the US in the summer of 2020 and returned to Japan, where she's remained with WWE in an official capacity as an ambassador. She's also done commentary work for WWE in Japan. Going back to Ali being denied his release from WWE, many on Twitter are calling for the company to free Ali, creating a hashtag for the star. A co-worker of Ali, Sasha Banks, even liked a tweet calling for WWE to let him go, as it reads, "I keep seeing free Ali is trending. I know what it's like watching someone ask for their release and get stuck. I promise the future is ready for the amazing things Ali is going to do. It sucks it's delayed, but know we are rooting for you." And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.